Well, it looks like Michigan's staff is pretty much filled up at this point, and we got some really good hires in here, guys who I'm really excited about for the development of this team. It looks like it's going to be the Michigan Utes for at least a couple of years, bringing over a lot of guys from both BYU and Utah. Not the worst thing in the world. Utah is a quality program. They got good players. They got good coaches. So I'm not going to complain about it. I am interested and curious to see how it's going to gel, culturally, scheme-wise, things like that. But we will see. I'm choosing to trust Kyle Whittingham that these guys are going to do a good job. But in this one, I wanted to go over kind of the remaining filled staff spots, guys who we haven't really spoken about a whole lot yet, at least on this channel. But let's start with quarterback coach Coy Detmer. He played 10 years in the NFL as a quarterback, mostly with the Eagles. He spent last season with Utah as the QB coach, where he helped develop Devin Dampier. So that tells you something. And Devin, they took Devin from a lower school and brought him in, and they turned him into like one of the more electric Power 4 quarterbacks in the country. So I consider that something noteworthy, at least. I'm not sure how much he'll help long term with quarterback development. He's not the biggest household name, but that 1 year sample size at Utah with Devin Dampier is a green flag, and he's better than anybody Michigan had before, because at least he is a quarterback coach. I don't even know if we even had a real quarterback coach, or if we just had like a de facto one with like Chip Lindsey. But to have an actual quarterback coach in there is noteworthy, and I'm happy just to have somebody in there. So hopefully he can rub off some of that development that he had with Dampier onto Bryce Underwood. The other guys would be the wide receiver coaches. There's no more Ron Bellamy. Thank you for your service, Ron, but it was time for a change. It really was. The development of the wide receivers at Michigan were not where they needed to be. And Andrew Marsh was the exception, not the rule. He's like really the only guy in recent memory besides Roman Wilson that you can say really, really developed into a quality every down receiver. But those new wide receiver coaches are Micah Simon and Marquez Hagans. We'll start with Simon. Simon played in the NFL as well as BYU, and Hagans spent 2 years as Penn State's wide receiver coach, as well as 10 years at the University of Virginia, where he was also the associate head coach. So he has high leadership role experience as well, and at the power level. So these are two consummate professionals, it seems. They both have a background and experience to develop wide receivers better than Ron did. Ron, to me, was more of a recruiter of receivers rather than a developer of receivers. And I would rather it be flipped, honestly. Give me a talented, high floor high school receiver, 3-star guy, but with really good developers, because you can turn them into guys like Charlie for Indiana, Charlie Beckard. That kid wasn't like a major 5-star, but he was developed into what he is now. He might be the best receiver on Indiana's team now. But Ron was able to get guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones, and he was able to get high 4-stars, and they never really panned out. He, by all accounts, the players loved him. He's a well-respected guy. There was never any problems with him, but being a good recruiter is futile if you're not going to add the development to it. So I do like that he has both these guys, they have real wide receiver coaching experience at that level. One of them played in the league, so he understands how to play the position at a higher level. The other one, he's coached at ACC and Big Ten for 2 real programs, lots of experience, well over a decade of experience for Hagans. I think that it's going to do the wonders for that wide receiver room. Guys like Jacob Washington, Jamar Browder, these are young guys who, Channing Goodwin, they're young guys who haven't really had the right coaching yet, and it's a shame. So I'm excited to see those guys' contribution for the sake of those young players. We have offensive line coach Jim Harding. He has developed 7 offensive linemen at Utah into draft picks and a handful of others into UDFAs. So he pumps guys into the league all the time. He had coached multiple first-team all-conference offensive linemen and has coached the offensive line at Utah for the last 12 years. So there's a ton of continuity with Harding and Whittingham. They know each other, they respect each other, they trust each other. I think he has the ability to maintain that reputation that Michigan seeks of being like an O-line school, O-line U, run game U, whatever you want to call it. But that's the identity that Michigan wants to have. And if you want to add a cultural element to it, I don't really know the history behind it. I find it interesting, but there's so many Polynesian Mormons, and I'm gonna look up the history of it. I'm assuming there was a large scale mission at some point, maybe. But the reason I bring that up though is when Utah and BYU both have had this knack for getting just these big, strong, menacing, Samoan, Polynesian players. And I think that getting guys like that to go to your school would help out immensely. Some of the best linemen in the country are Polynesian. I think that you could, with the influx of these coaches coming from BYU and Utah, might be able to attract some of those guys to the Midwest. So, just an observation. Doesn't really mean anything too deep, but I don't know. We have Doug, and I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Doug Elisaia. I don't know. If I'm an idiot, just tell me I'm an idiot. The articles that I've read online so far said that he is likely to follow Kyle Whittingham to Ann Arbor. He is the strength and conditioning coach. So let me give you a quick bio for Doug here. He began at Utah as the assistant strength coach and was then promoted to director of sports performance in 2006. And that's the position that he's held up to now. So he is super, super experienced, well over a decade of experience in this realm. He also has experience at 3 former colleges as well, including most notably Kentucky from 2002 to 2004. So Kyle Whittingham did emphasize the weight room. He emphasized the strength and conditioning program in the off season. He appreciates and understands the importance of getting these guys strong, getting these guys ready to go physically. And that's not something that was ever lacking at Utah. Utah was, were they the same level as Georgia or Ohio State or whatever? Maybe not, but they were always super physical, and they won a lot of games and even won the conference at 3 different conferences under Whittingham. And you don't do that without being tough. You don't do that without being a little gritty and hard-nosed. So I like this hire a lot because I think that Doug Elisaia, I'm just going to assume that's how you pronounce it. I think that he can maybe, with that experience and that track record, I think that he can probably bring back something similar to what Ben Herbert gave us in 2023 for the national title year. Because that team was really well conditioned. They were strong. Ben Herbert was a massive, massive help to that team. So I think losing him was tough. So to have a real experienced and respected strength and conditioning guy in there is a really good sign. And I'm really glad that Kyle Whittingham emphasized that in this coaching cycle. It's no disrespect to the guys that replaced Herbert at Michigan, but these players got hurt a lot this season. You saw it. The strength and conditioning was not on the same level as it was under Ben Herbert. So let's get him in here. Let's get these guys stronger. Let's get them going. We have a few retentions. We have 3 primary retained coaches that I would want to talk about. They're retaining Kerry Coombs, Tony Alford, and Louis Baceto as the defensive tackle coach. Retaining Tony seems obvious because he took not just Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall, but even Bryson Cusdahl was able to have multiple 100-yard games. He had 3 running backs, 3 deep, that all produced at a high level this season. That's not a coincidence. That's proper development. We've been harping on it the whole time. These guys aren't getting developed, but Tony Alford might be the only guy who's truly developing these players. Justice Haynes is a dog. Jordan Marshall's a dog. Hell, for the situation, Bryson Cusdahl is also a dog. For him to be elevated from third string guy, not really getting any touches, being thrust in there and having 100-yard games, that's a testament to Tony Alford's ability to coach these guys and develop them. So Tony Alford, I think he's better than Mike Hart was personally. I really do. He can stay for as long as he wants. I'm a big Tony Alford guy. So he makes the most sense. And UM's special teams, to transition to Kerry Coombs, their special teams are actually quite impressive against Texas in the bowl game. They had 3 kickoff returns of over 40 yards. I think 2 of those were over 50 yards. And they had a forced fumble. So, and that was against a quality team. So I know that Kerry Coombs, his primary background was like defensive coordinator, but he understands ball. And I think that was a solid hire. I think that bowl game really helped him out. That bowl game was probably the reason they retained him, because I think that there was, murmuring in the background of him bringing in a different special teams coordinator. But I think that game kind of showed Kyle that, no, we got our guy. Kerry's a solid coach. He's a good recruiter as well. So, and Lou Esposito, I do think it makes sense to keep Lou Esposito. The defensive tackles, don't get me wrong, absolutely underperformed this season for Michigan. However, his total body of work has still been impressive to me. He's still produced NFL caliber D tackles at a high level. And the addition of Lewis Powell, who's going to be taking over the defensive end roles, to me, it means it's going to help him focus solely on the interior of the defensive line. So I know that I've mentioned before, too many cooks in the kitchen could always be a problem, but I don't think this is a problem. I think it's just saying, Lou, focus on the D tackles. That's the heartbeat of the defense for us. And Powell will just take over the D ends. And hopefully they coach them up in sync and they play with continuity that way. But I think it makes sense. So, retaining Coombs, Alford, and Esposito, and welcoming in Elisaiah, Jim Harding, Micah Simon, Marquez Hagans, and Coy Detmer. I'm not going to go over the entire staff because I'm pretty sure college football staff has like 40 names on it. So, but those are the notable ones. With that, I want to quickly transition into 4 names in the transfer portal that we're seeing already linked to Michigan, and these are pretty good players. So I'm a little excited here, just for the possibility. We'll start with the wide receivers. We have 2 wide receivers that have been either linked to Michigan already or who have an official visit. The first one's Wyatt Young from North Texas. He's 6 feet, he's 195 pounds. He's the number 10 wide receiver in the portal right now. I know it's early, but with having over 4,000 players in the portal, being the number 10 ranked guy means you're a good receiver. 1,264 yards and 10 touchdowns. The guy's just a ball player. He's just a fundamentally sound wide receiver. He's nothing crazy flashy about him. He just plays the position well. He's not the biggest or strongest guy, but he's sure-handed, and he played a huge role in UNT's success this season because UNT was nothing before the season, and then out of nowhere, it's him and their star quarterback at the G5 level, just making plays, doing it against high-level talent. And honestly, I mean, I hate to kind of resort to this way of thinking, but beggars can't be choosers, and Michigan needs pass catchers. They need reliable pass catchers with experience and who are just fundamentally sound and who will just play the position. He's also only a sophomore, so you could possibly have him for 2 more seasons as well. I mean, assuming he doesn't transfer and just break out like crazy and declare early, but he's probably going to be in college for another 2 years. So that's a plus. The other guy is Terrell Anderson. He is a 6'2", 204-pound wide receiver from North Carolina State. 39 catches for 629 yards and 5 touchdowns, 16 yards a carry, or a catch, excuse me. So I like him too because that 16 yards of reception is not just straight up deep balls. So a lot of that is catch and run. A lot of it is contested. It's intermediate. His intermediate and deep route tree is really good. Far better than anything we have on the roster right now. He's a bigger guy, so unlike Wyatt, so he's good physicality at the catch point as well. I watched a little bit of tape on him before making this video. He does have good hands. Everybody drops a ball occasionally, right? It's not, unless you're Larry Fitzgerald, everybody drops the ball sometimes. But he does have that good physicality at the catch point. He can run after the catch. He can go deep if you need him to. Strong. And all in all, like Wyatt, he's just a good pass catcher. Michigan needs good pass catchers. Guys like Nick Marsh, to me, make tons of sense, from Michigan State, just because he's a local guy. I know that Nick has been kind of Nick's been linked more to like SEC type of schools, like LSU, things like that. But so in the event that you can't get kind of the bigger named guys like Reed Harris from Boston College or Nick Marsh, getting guys like Wyatt Young and Terrell Anderson I think would be fine. I don't want to settle on fine. Part of me just wants to throw a bunch of money at some of the bigger names in the portal. But these guys are two dudes who have been productive at their schools, far more productive than what we've had. And I think if you combine them with two really experienced, good wide receiver developers, I think we could have a much, much, much improved receiving core next year if you add them with Andrew Marsh. The other guy, and I'm almost guaranteeing this one to happen, to be honest with you, Smith Snowden, the corner from Utah. He's 5'10", 180, 2 interceptions, 9 pass breakups. He's the number 4 corner in the portal, right? So this kid, he's not very big, but he's very instinctual. He's very experienced, and there's the continuity. You're gonna see a lot of Utah players come to Michigan. They're gonna be the Michigan Utes for a little while, and that's just the new college football that we live in. Guys commit more to coaches than they do schools. Guys are going to follow coaches. Coaches are going to poach players like crazy. I'm expecting tons and tons and tons. Well, probably 20-ish players to transfer from Iowa State to Penn State for that same reason. They're just going to follow Matt Campbell. I expect a lot of these guys to follow Kyle Whittingham. And Smith Snowden has now become kind of a high priority player because Zeke Berry is in the portal. And Smith Snowden's better than Zeke Berry. He was Utah's best defensive back last year, and he profiles similar to Zeke, but he's much better ball skills, much better instincts, I think. And I like Zeke Berry, I do, but I never thought of Zeke Berry as like a true starting corner caliber guy. So I think that getting a guy like Smith Snowden in here could really help out. I like that they're going after him. And his father, too, I mean, this is probably the most notable part of Snowden is his father has already said publicly that UM's a major player. So I'm basically penciling this in. It's obviously nothing's official. We're not going to know anything for a while, but I'm pretty much mentally and emotionally banking on Snowden, at least, of these 4 names coming to Michigan. And the last name I want to mention is John Henry Daly, defensive end, outside linebacker type of hybrid. 6'4", 247 pounds, 11 and a half sacks, man. 11 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He was an all Big 12 first team player. And one of the more notable things, I mean, aside from the fact that Michigan's losing all their best edge rushers to the draft, so he's going to be a high priority position at least. But I'm really close to penciling this in as a guarantee also, for the sole fact that he played for both BYU and Utah. So Jay Hill coming in from BYU, he has that continuity with Jay Hill. He has that continuity with Whittingham as his head coach. It just screams obvious to me. And I forgot to write down his ranking, but I'm pretty sure he's a top 10 edge defender in the portal right now. He's a 4-star in the portal. I know that. He had like 22 sacks his senior year of high school. The dude's a monster. And we're going to need edge rushers. We're going to need pass rushers. We got some good recruits coming in, but they're not going to be full-time contributors right out the gate. So I really like John Henry Daly as well from Utah. So I'm excited for these names. I'm excited for the program going forward. We got some good coaches in here. We're linked to some good players in the portal already. So we're going to see a night and day different roster, and going to be more excited about it. So go Blue.